change is the only constant has never rung more true than in today's financial services. The rate of change is staggering. And just recently, Vanguard announced their foray into our industry where they're providing an advised service for 0.75%, which is really throwing down the gauntlet to the industry, I believe. So I have with me today Jon Macintosh, the senior partner of Saltus, one of our very good clients here at Time for Advice. And I'm just going to ask him his impression of where the deal with Vanguard is going and how the traditional financial advisor could perhaps compete moving forward. So, Jon, welcome.
Thanks, Roland.
Good to see you again. So, given what I've just said about Vanguard, what are your thoughts about this move into the market? And do you see this as a threat to traditional financial advisors?
I think we should welcome it. And yes, it's a threat. But I think we need to be really clear about why are we here and what are we trying to do for clients. And I think having people like Vanguard coming along can really focus us on what is our mission. And if you compare what is about to happen in the financial planning world to what happened over the last 20 years in the stockbroking world, or private client stockbroking world. 20 years ago, whether I wanted to buy some British Telecom shares or buy a fund, or if I wanted to have some advice and a relationship with my portfolio managed, I would go to a stockbroker. And they would pretty much charge me the same thing regardless of which one I was doing. Whereas these days, there's no such thing as a private client stockbroker. Either you go to Charles Schwab or Interactive Investor and you pay next to nothing and do it yourself, or you have a relationship with a private client portfolio manager who manages your money and charges you the same as they always did. And it's horses for courses. And I think we are on the cusp of the same thing happening in the financial planning world.
How can a financial advisor compete? What is it that will set them apart from something like Vanguard and enable them to continue in business and deliver the service they've always delivered, or not?
As an American friend of mine once said to me, price is what you pay and value is what you get. And I think again, you know, that is it's very applicable to what we are about to see in this industry. That in very often the price that people have been paying and the value they've been getting, there's a disparity in the wrong direction. Yeah. And the choice posed by the aggressive technology-based disruptors will hopefully make that less of a frequent occurrence. But at the same time, the kind of value-added end of the financial planning service industry has got to up its game. And I think, you know, my degree was in ancient Greek, and the ancient Greeks pioneered philosophy. And when you referred to, in fact, probably the Chinese got there first, but the philosophy started in the ancient Greek variety with people kind of asking like why am I here? What's the point of life? And it was kind of the pursuit of happiness was broadly what they came up with, and I think in the same way that, you know, if you go and see a psychotherapist because you're unhappy, it's pretty unlikely that they're going to get replaced by a robo psychotherapist. And similarly, that if we view our mission as delivering a client's goals, but in financial terms, but finance is the gateway to lots of other things, but that if we define our mission as delivering financial happiness, that's not going to be done by a computer. But we need to make sure that we are really delivering that which has clearly got a very high value to it. And so then people who know what they want already and want to go and buy a pension can go to Vanguard, and people who don't know what they want and want to be taken on a journey to deliver them fulfillment through their money, there's always going to be a place for us, and actually people will not be ultra price sensitive about it because the value being delivered is so high.
So I think you summed it up, it's value. It's a value proposition. It's not about price, it's about value. And I think that's really important. But I guess one of the big challenges our industry has is how do we liberate financial advisors to spend more time doing the things that their clients value and less time doing the stuff that they don't. So do you think technology has a role to play in enabling financial planners to spend more time doing what clients value? And if so, what role do you think that is?
So I think there's a one-word answer, which is yes. And the slightly longer answer is that, fintech is a buzzword. And it's, if you say, I have a fintech business, everyone goes, oh, it must be very valuable. It's a bit like being a .com 20 years ago. But our watchword here is, in terms of the way that we think about technology, is we call it fintech on the inside. That we don't want to look like a fintech company to the customer. To the customer, we want to look old-fashioned. Like here's a very, very helpful and intelligent and knowledgeable human who you can relate to, who can guide you through your journey to your goals. But on the inside, everything should be technology that possibly can be. And so that means the fast turnaround and no wasted cost of humans digging holes and filling them in again, and no mistakes and consistency of process. So either that it improves our margins, or it improves the same advisor can deal with more clients, or we can reduce our costs. But that efficiency delivers a better service and gives us options in terms of either margin maximization or cost reduction. Depending, we can be agnostic about how that goes.
I think you're spot on. I think, there are often figures bandied around about the number of people being serviced by professional financial advisors, and I think it's about 3.5 million people out of potentially 30 million who need it. And so I guess the challenge for our industry is how we enable financial advice businesses to expand their reach significantly, because I think financial advice is so important, actually. I've been in it in my life, as you know, and I feel very passionate about it. The job that financial planners do, professional financial planners, is give clarity and give comfort to those people who don't have necessarily the capacity to do it for themselves, because that's not what they do, and so being able to do more of that with more people and add more value to by providing the right service to the right people, I think is absolutely key. What's your view?
Well, I mean, I'd like to give a special shout out to the Chancellor of the Exchequer for permanently making pensions legislation and tax legislation more and more complicated, because it means we're never going to be out of a job. And particularly for people who've got a reasonably significant amount of wealth, that the rules are extremely, it's like a minefield out there. And but so technology is never going to get in the way of delivering peace of mind and someone really feeling sure that they're not going to accidentally step on a landmine.
Thank you, John. Fabulous. Appreciate that. That was excellent.
Thanks, Roland. Good to see you.